And then you have access to me in these next few months, whether it be on YouTube, you have my email, or you have my phone number. Let me know what you need, and then stay practiced. So when we start back in August the 16th, you choose what time works best for you. If 10 is the best time, or if 1:30 may be a best time. Not that much difference in a time frame, but you'll have 2 choices on a Tuesday.
That sounds great to me.
And then when that one's over, that one will be over at the end of November, about Thanksgiving. And then we'll start another one in January. So that we contracted it out that way to be able to offer one and then offer it again. So for anybody who new who's interested, or anybody who wants to continue doing it.
That sounds great.
All right. Well, I don't know why my nose is itching, but it is. I'm certain that means something. Okay. So here we go. We'll start by doing our warm-ups, where we open and close our hands, just walking in place, walking around the room. I just love this weather. Yesterday when I got in my car and it was hot, I said, thank you, Lord. Oh, thank you, Lord. I am hot. Oh, my armpits are sweating. My shirt is wet from sweat. Thank you.
Well, I'm a total opposite.
I do not like cold weather. Oh, I just don't. You just never heard me complain so much than when it's cold. So it doesn't matter how hot it is. I always thank the Lord when it's warm. I love when my shirt is soaking wet.
And I'm miserable.
I know people feel opposite, but
Yeah. Because of menopause.
Typically older people don't like cold weather, because a lot of older people take blood thinners, and so they get cold really easily. Or then you have like the hormonal women who are going through menopause. They're the ones who really don't like the hot weather.
That's me.
I always say, I think I'm going to be the only person in the history of menopause women that love a hot flash.
Okay.
So I'll let you know whenever I start experiencing
it.
I say, no, you're not going to like it, because literally you feel like you're on fire from the inside out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And when it starts at your head and goes down to your feet.
Well, in so many ways in my life, I've always kind of been an exception to the rules. So it won't be a big surprise if I do like a hot flash.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're ready to go through our warm-up stretches, starting with our just making sure we're in that good stable spot where our weight's on both feet, good posture, that slight bend in our knee. Oh, you know what? I'm recording and I have you as the main picture. So you'll be, there we go. I'm like looking at myself thinking, God, well, I teach bingo size, and that's how I put them. I put them in the big picture because there's a lot of them. And so I just hadn't switched it back. So, all right. So do you keep that soft bend in your knee? That that's a good rule of thumb of holding your body no matter where you are, because when you have that soft bend, it just gives you a little bit of give, so that if somebody kind of bumps you on accident, if you're in a crowd of people and somebody bumps you, then that you use that bend to kind of respond. You absorb somebody kind of knocking into you. But if you were standing straight up, especially if your feet were close together, so you didn't have that wide base, your feet are close together, you have locked knees, somebody comes and accidentally bumps you, then you're more likely to fall. So this is the stance we use whenever we do our Tai Chi movements, but it's a stance that you want to try to use wherever you are to help keep you stable, to help keep you from falling. So let's start with our neck. We have our hands to our side. We bring those hands up towards our chin and chest. Push away and follow those hands all the way down. Feel a little stretch in the back of your neck. Inhale as you come up, and then exhale whenever you get ready. Keep those shoulders nice and relaxed. Don't hold any tension in your shoulder. The other one starts out that same way. Drop one hand, follow the other hand as you look towards that shoulder. Just go until you feel a little stretch in the neck. Come back to the front. Switch hands. Good old neck stretch from side to side. Sometimes I get a little lost in the neck stretch because I do hold tension there. You know, we talked about, here's one that's not Tai Chi, but it's a neck stretch where you take your ear towards your shoulder and just let your head lay over and just let gravity stretch the side of your neck, keeping those shoulders relaxed and just allowing that muscle to naturally stretch. You're not forcing anything. And then slowly bring your head up as you're not trying to induce vertigo. Sometimes if you move your head too quickly, it'll make you dizzy. But going over to that side and just letting gravity stretch that neck. So last week in Tai Chi class, I was telling them about our necks and how, you know, just say people who are on their phone, they go like this, they look down at their phone. And you ever heard of a tech neck, as they call it, a tech neck from looking down at your phone? And one reason why that happens is because our head weighs 11 pounds.
Wow.
If you have ever held a weight, a 10-pound weight, like at a gym, that's heavy.
Yes.
So that's a 10-pound weight plus a 1-pound weight. And then if you're looking down, you can understand why you would get a headache, why you would get a neck ache. So doing that full stretch where you're side to side, and then you're looking over that shoulder. These are the different parts of those neck muscles. And then, of course, chin towards your chest really stretches that neck and keeps out tension. But if you're a person who does look at a tablet or a cell phone, making sure that you keep a good posture, even with your neck, even if it means holding your cell phone up in front of you versus looking down. So that's just a little outside of Tai Chi life advice for your 11-pound head. I was just shocked to learn our head weighs 11 pounds.
Yeah, for sure.
I always thought it weighed the same amount as a gallon of milk or a gallon of water.
Mm-hmm.
And that weighs about 8 pounds. So when I looked it up, I thought, wow, our heads weigh more than a gallon.
Wow.
Our heads weigh more like a gallon and a half.
Wow.
We got a heavy head we're toting around.
For sure.
So this exercise right here for our shoulders, see our neck and our shoulders, they're connected. You know, everything connects to the next thing in our bodies. And so when we roll our shoulders forward and roll our shoulders back, that helps our posture and helps our neck too. So if you're experiencing any neck and shoulder pain, doing these little warm-up movements can help the range of motion of those joints, but can also help relieve tension that you're holding on to. Tension leads to pain. And so we're anti-pain. We don't want pain. So we try to do things that help keep us from having pain. And yeah, that's what we do. We do this. We don't want tension. So we do the things that help keep tension out of our lives. And good posture, wow, it helps more than we even give it credit for. Ever since I looked that up about the head, I have been paid so much attention to not looking down at stuff. I will take something on the wall and look at it. I don't want those problems.
No, ma'am.
And I think, honestly, I have had less problems with my neck tension. All right, now we have our spine stretch where we separate heavens and earth. So one hand goes up, the other goes down, stretching that spine vertically. Come and switch. I've been practicing my breathing on this, really inhaling as I come to that ball and then really exhaling the air as I separate my hands. And that helps make that movement extend further with that exhale. So inhale here and exhale out. So just play around with that. The breathing of these movements that helps make it more. Come to our ball, and now we're going to take that ball side to side, turning just like our waving hands in clouds movement. It's a torso movement, working side to side. Continuing that breathing. Do it in your own time. You know, perfectly we would inhale as we switch our hands and exhale as we come across, but we may have more air to exhale whenever we get to that side. And so just play around with it. As long as you're breathing, that's what's important. We just don't want to hold our breath.
What does holding your breath do for you, Jennifer?
It's not so much what holding your breath does, but it's what not breathing does. So like, or it's what breathing does. So if you're not breathing, you're robbing yourself of the oxygen going through your whole body. And so oxygen is kind of, you know, gives us life. We need oxygen to be alive. And if we're not inhaling and exhaling, then we don't have oxygen. And so that's what helps our brain think clearer. So when we have oxygen through our breathing, our brains work better. Whenever we have good inhaling, exhaling. Okay, so it's called diaphragmatic breathing. And so our lungs are here. My shirt almost looks like internal organs. So this is my lungs. And then underneath my lungs is this little muscle. It's kind of shaped like this. It's like a cup, like a long, flat little cup. And that's a muscle called your diaphragm. And so that diaphragm kind of sits over top of all your internal organs, like your stomach, your large and small intestine, your kidneys, your liver. Oh gosh, what else is down there? Your pancreas. You might have a gallbladder. It's a tiny little thing, but it's all down there, right? Our whole digestive system is down there. And so whenever you inhale, whenever you breathe, you're pushing that diaphragm down onto all of those internal organs. It comes up whenever you exhale.
Mhm.
Inhale, exhale. As you inhale and exhale, your diaphragm comes up and down, up and down. And whenever it does that, it's kind of like, you know, like a little kid will tap you and be like, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama, hey grandma, hey grandma, hey grandma, hey grandma, hey grandma, hey, 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 hey. Okay, and what do? Man, you get to doing whatever it is they're trying to get you to do. You pay attention, you listen. And so that diaphragm is saying to your organs, hey organs, hey organs, hey organs, hey organs. And your organs are waking up. They're starting to work. It's reminding them to work and do their job. And so breathing does that.
Okay.
Breathing also helps the blood circulate through our bodies more. So if you think, okay, say you're a diabetic. Diabetics have a lot of problems with their feet. And so the reason why is because circulation isn't what it should be. The reason why is because your blood is thicker. And so it doesn't flow as easily because it's thick. Your blood has what's called white blood cells. And those white blood cells are your healing cells. So if you can get blood to flow through your body more efficiently from breathing, then it can heal things. It can heal. So like we take breathing totally for granted because we just do it. We breathe. We don't really think about it. If we hold our breath, then suddenly we're forced to breathe because we can't hold our breath anymore. Just like going underwater, you know, you can't stay underwater forever. You got to have a breath.
Right.
But you want to make an effort to breathe, breathe, breathe. We were born diaphragmatic breathing. We were born that way. If you ever watch a baby breathe, you see how their belly rises and falls.
Yeah.
But once we get older, we get in a hurry, and maybe sometimes we don't want our belly to poke out, because whenever we breathe diaphragmatic, our belly comes out and then goes back in because of the air, because that diaphragm is pushing our belly out. And maybe we don't like that. We want to look flat stomach. So we breathe shallow. We forget to breathe. It's more than it's more likely from being in a hurry than vanity, but that's just something that we do. We focus on keeping our stomach sucked in, but really it's because we're in a hurry. Animals do the same thing. If you watch a puppy sleep, even dogs, their bellies rise and fall, rise and fall. That's diaphragmatic breathing. We were born to breathe that way. We just forgot to keep doing it because we got in a hurry. So make an effort. I do it a lot when I'm driving, making sure I'm breathing, taking those deep breaths. If I'm ever in traffic, that's when I really practice it. So it's what we're missing out on if we're not breathing more. You know, to answer your question, I forget exactly how you asked it, but that's why it's so important to breathe for all those things I just said. It helps our bodies work right, and breathing makes all that happen. That was a lot. I'm gonna have a drink of water from all those words. All right, so we did the side to side. We did this. Okay, we're to our hips. So these are the ones that we really, they really test our balance. So if a chair is necessary, have a chair nearby, but they test our balance because we put our weight on one leg. So we shift our weight to one leg, we put our heel forward and our hands come back, and then we pause in the middle and then switch. So our hands are forward when that leg is back out like a kickstand versus straight back. That's, you saw me wobble there. That right there is a more stable stance. So keep that in mind as we do change our leg from front to back, that it's more like a kickstand because that's more stable. It's called a staggered stance. Especially the staggered stance would be if our feet were flat. That's a staggered stance, but it's that same type leg placement. So switch our weight to that other leg, heel forward, hands back, pause, and toe back, hands forward. Anytime you wobble, that's your little stabilizer muscles trying to find ownership of your body and help keep yourself upright. That's what we're trying to strengthen here with these movements, is your stabilizers.
Okay.
That's why we take it slow. It really engages stabilizers when we go slow. When we go fast, we use a larger muscle, and our stabilizers are working a little bit, but not as much as when we go slow. You experience it in Tai Chi that slower is more difficult.
Yeah.
So now we're going to shift our weight from side to side. Shift that weight, tap out, back in, switch, shift, tap, side to side. Now I have that soft bend in my knee, just like I talked about, to help make our bodies more absorbent to any type of outside force, but also it really lowers our center of gravity and makes us more stable. In a sense, I'm sitting into that movement. Keeping those hands within my frame. And what I mean by that is I'm not leaning out. I'm not going out far because I'm going towards falling when I start doing that. I keep my body upright. So that's a challenge. All right, now for our knees, we have our loose fist, nice relaxed shoulders. Shift our weight, lift, tap that toe out and punch. Bring it back. Back so you can still see my toe. Shift the weight, lift, tap and punch, bring it back, shift, lift, tap and punch. Keep breathing. Do one more on each side. Shift, line on those stabilizers to really keep us. Very good. Now let's step forward. Shift the weight to that front foot as we punch the opposite hand back, side by side. Shift, step, shift and punch, and back. As I move my body through all these Tai Chi movements, I'm just constantly kind of scanning through to make sure my posture's good. I haven't brought in any tension in my shoulders, you know, just making sure I'm in a good supportive position. Now for our ankles, shift the weight, heel toe, just rocking that foot, and then shift our weight And the other foot, heel toe. This helps with circulation in your legs. Probably feel all those muscles in the bottom part of your legs stretching, calves and shins. Come back, shift the weight, and now big toe, little toe. Working on that range of motion of our ankle. Sometimes we forget about our ankle because it's far away from our head, our 11-pound head. we forget about the ankle down there, but think of how, if you've ever had weak ankles, how that could cause you such a problem. And by doing these movements, it really helps strengthen our ankle joints and helps our ankles hold our weight so that we're less likely to fall. All right, any questions about our warm-up stretches, warm-up movements from head to toe before we go to basic 6?
No, I enjoy warm-ups.
I do too. I don't know why I'm so thirsty today, but I am. All right, here we go. So we're going to do our basic 6. We'll go through it a couple times. Let's do it once and then we'll relate it to some principles. Just thinking slow, smooth, and continuous. Here we go. And commence. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open and close. And close it out. How was that?
Great.
Slow, smooth, and continuous. That's the name of the game. As we learn and get better at our movements, to keep that slow, smooth, and continuous. We don't always use gentle resistance. I mean, that is a principle, but we don't think always about pushing like an accordion when we do open and close. We don't always think about pulling that accordion and pushing that accordion. We don't always think in terms of if we were moving through water. But that is a principle that we could focus on, and that helps engage muscle that we wouldn't normally use. We do want to think about upright posture. And like I said, whenever I'm going through my movements, I just do a little quick scan. And it's mainly in this area right here, these shoulders and my posture of my neck. You know, have I lifted my shoulders and made tension there any? I do a little scan and fix it if I'm ever holding tension. And then, of course, weight transfer. We want to give the whole respect as we move through these movements and shift our weight. So that first movement and commencement, we're shifting the weight to that right foot. We're stepping heel toe. Then we're shifting, bringing that foot back. Single whip, we shift the weight, and when we step, we kind of even out the weight there. We have about a 50-50 weight balance, but then we shift the weight to that back foot, bring it back to get ready for waving hands in clouds, where we step, shift, follow step, shift. So there's a lot of weight shifting that happens, or weight transfer happening as we do our basic 6. And that's where the magic of making our stabilizers stronger happens. So if you're looking at principles and you're picking which ones, you know, you want to focus on, maybe which ones are like most important, you know, I think about slow, smooth, and continuous every time. And I really think about that weight transfer so that my muscles are going to get stronger. Hey, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it right. I want to do it fully, because I want all the benefits. So we get the most for our time and effort. So, you know, when we talk about open joints, maybe sometimes your knees don't have a soft bend. Maybe you're up, maybe you don't have a locked knee, but you know, you're standing up more. Not a problem. But given that soft bend there helps you be more stable in the movement so that you're less likely to fall. So, you know, when I think about principles, I think about those two. I'm not saying they're the most important. That's just what I think about: slow, smooth, continuous, and weight transfer. So let's do that again. And if you choose to think about a principle, fine. If you don't, fine. But this time I'm going to choose to think about the weight transfer that happens with these movements. So here we go. Let's do our basic 6 one more time. And commence. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open and close. Close it out. So when I talk, I had that concentration on my weight transfer, but then I told you that I naturally will scan my body for tension, and I caught myself stretching my fingers out. I was down here with waving hands and clouds, and I caught my fingers all stretched out. And if you stretch your fingers out, you feel tension there, right? Okay, that's tension, but that stretches the muscles in your hands. And then if you close and open, I mean, you can even make it bigger where you go soft fist, bend those fingers up, open or up, then open, close, bend, soft fist, bend, up, open. That's an arthritis foundation exercise for your hands. For some reason, my hands are really, I don't know if sore is the right word. I'm not sure what's going on with my hands, but that's why I was doing that. This morning, I have been opening and closing my hands because my hands are real tight. And so that's not supposed to be like that in Tai Chi, but I caught myself doing it because I scanned through my body. So that's why doing a little quick scan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I caught myself maybe holding my shoulders forward a little bit. Let's relax those shoulders. And it just takes a quick scan through your body.
Okay.
You're not going to know if something's wrong if you don't know what's right, right?
Right.
So if I know I'm supposed to have my shoulders back, and I have my back straight, good posture, and I practice that body structure, if I practice that most of the time, then if I'm ever here, that doesn't feel right. So I fix it. So you got to know what's right so you know when you're doing it wrong. So you want to have that upright posture. Remember, when we do that shoulder circle, we roll those shoulders forward, and when we roll them back, that resets our posture. So if you ever feel yourself kind of slouched, just roll those shoulders back, and that gets you back right.
Okay.
So the open the hand, that's tension. I shouldn't have been holding my hand like that with waving hands and clouds, but that can also be a good exercise for your hands, especially if you have arthritis. Open and closing can get those muscles stretched out. That's what that tension is. That's the stretching of that muscle. So that's a good thing to have a little tension. That's just not what I need to be doing during Tai Chi. My hand's engaged, but it's still, it's engaged, but it's relaxed. You know, my fingers don't have tension in them as I do waving hands and clouds. So if you have a good practice of doing it right, then you know it stands out when you start doing it wrong. All right, so do we want to go over our brush knee and our advanced movements?
Yeah.
Okay, so here, you know, I got to get my mind right. We're going to be going that way, which is our left. That's our first brush knee movement. And remember, our right leg turns in towards the left. That's kind of like an arrow that says we're going that way whenever we shift the weight to our left foot, turn our right toe in, lay our hands. Shift right, bring that left foot back, separate our hands, step left, let's throw that pitch, and follow step right. So I'm going to turn this way whenever I do that. That way, whenever I finish, I'll be facing you, okay? So, because the rest of those movements are going to come this way.
Okay.
So that makes more sense to be facing you than to be facing that direction. So this is my new front, okay? And so I'm going to be here because I just finished open and close. I shift. I don't know why it's easier to face the camera and do mirror image than face the side and do it. But I shift left, right toe in, lay hands. Shift right, separate, left toe comes in. I step left, I send that pitch with my right hand and follow step right. So that's the end of brush knee. Now I'm going to do play the lute. So I step back with my right foot and I turn my hands. So my hands go from here. When I say turn hands, I turn them like this because they're getting ready to pass each other like that until this right hand gets to my left elbow. So I'm here, turn hands, and pass hands till it gets to my elbow. So that's play the lute. The footwork is going, okay, so I step back right, turn my hands, shift right as my hands pass each other, follow step left, protect my elbow. So that's play the lute. Are you good with play the lute?
Let's do that one more time.
Okay. So let's go from the beginning. So open and close. Then we have shift, turn, lay hands, shift, separate, step left, pitch with our right hand, follow step right. Play the lute. Step back right, turn hands, shift right as my hands pass each other, get to that elbow, and follow step left. So we started out here. We stepped back with our right foot and turned our hands. So that happened at the same time. We stepped back, turn hands. Shift as my hands pass each other, get to that elbow, and follow step left. So now from the side, this is what that looks like. So my feet started out here and ended here. I just took a step back. So I came from the end of brush knee to here, shift here. So I just took a step back.
Do that one more time.
Okay. So do you like it from the front or do you like the side view?
Side view.
Side view. Okay. So I ended brush knee here. I step back right, turn my hands, shift right as my hands pass each other, get to that elbow, follow step left.
Okay.
I realize that I step my feet a little closer together. So if your feet are out more like this, that's not a problem. The only thing you don't want to do is have your feet side by side.
Okay.
So there's still a staggered here, even though my feet are a little closer together.
Okay.
We're all different, so it feels certain space feels better to us than others. So don't feel like you have to copy my exact movements, but it is a staggered stance. So we're here at the end of brush knee, play the lute, we step back, turn hands, shift as those hands pass, follow step left. So that's play the lute. To me, it's like a harp or something where we're playing that harp. You know, our fingers are going across those strings and coming to the end. So we're just doing all kinds of stuff in the advanced movements. We're playing baseball, we're playing instruments. We are so multi-talented. So we come here, we threw the pitch, we struck them out, and now we're going to play a song, play the lute. Boom. So we're good with that one.
Yeah.
Next is parry, parry, and punch. So we start here. Let me show you from the top, just the hand movements. We're here at the end of play the lute, right? Yeah. Okay. We're here. We flip our hands here, and our hands pass each other till I get to the elbow. Then we flip it, and our hands pass each other until I get to the elbow. Then my left hand that's extended is going to come up like it's a guard. That's my left hand. My right hand is going to come back and punch. It's called parry, parry, and punch, but I'm not really a violent person, so I think about this right here is like you're holding a bouquet of flowers. So when you put up that guard, you reach back from your pocket and you grabbed your flowers and delivered flowers. So it's parry, parry, and punch, but really we're not punching anyone. We're delivering flowers. So we have here, we just played the lute. So to parry, parry, and punch, we flip our hands, parry, flip our hands, parry, and punch. So again, from the side, we have, here's the end of play the lute. We flip, parry, flip, parry, and punch.
Okay.
So it's, we've played the lute, parry, parry, and punch. Flip, parry, flip, parry, and punch. Parry, parry, and punch. Another way people think about that movement is the parries is, you remember those long, beautiful gloves that women used to wear? Maybe sometimes women still wear them. But it's like putting on those gloves. So we're here, flip, oh, put on those beautiful gloves, flip, oh, put on that other beautiful glove. Now you're ready to deliver the flowers or punch. And when we punch, our wrists are lined up. Another thing about that movement is sometimes people will do like a hammer down. They'll like go punch, you know, like it's a hammer, but it's not a hammer, it's straight punch. The footwork of parry, parry, and punch is, oh wait, that's the end of parry, parry, punch. Okay, so we've played the lute. Okay, so my left foot is out front at the end of play the lute. So I'm gonna step, step, step left, shift, step right, shift, step left, shift, follow step. And those steps are in conjunction with our the words of parry, parry, and punch. So I have parry, parry, and punch. So it's step, 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 follow step. So parry, parry, and punch. So at the end of play the lute, you know, I'm fixing to flip, parry, and deliver flowers with a punch. So I'm here, flip when I step, parry as I shift, flip when I step, parry as I shift, step with that guard up, shift as I bring in the punch, follow step. So that's parry, parry, and punch. So from this side view, we've just done play the lute. Let me back up as far as I can to that wall. So I'm going to parry, parry, and punch. Step and flip, parry as I shift. Step and flip, parry as I shift. Step, put that guard up, shift as I bring around the bouquet of flowers, follow step. How's that?
Yeah.
All right, so you'll revisit this video and you just go over it. I'm trying to rush and get to the very end of that series of movements so you'll have them. So we're going to do those. I'm going to start it. I'll start it from the front since you like seeing the movement from the side. So from the top of brush knee, here we go. Brush knee, shift, turn lay hands, shift, separate, get ready to step, shift as I throw that pitch, follow step. Play the lute. Step back, turn hands, shift as my hands pass, follow step, protect that elbow. Parry, punch, step, flip, parry as I shift, step, flip, parry as I shift, step, put up that guard, bring that bouquet around as I shift and follow step. How was that?
It was okay, but I'm gonna have to practice it.
That is a lot, Miss Gwen. It's a lot. I am pushing you through that because of this. The next two moves are easy peasy. I'm not even going to say lemon squeezy because squeezing a lemon is hard. But here's what they look like from the front. I just did and punch. It's called block and close. I step back, separate my hands, and follow step. That's block and close. Then I push the tiger up the mountain. Step, push those hands, follow step. And then I go back to the front. I turn my hands, I open and close, and that's it. So those last two movements are nothing compared to brush knee, play the lute, and parry punch. They're basically step back, follow step, step forward, follow step, then go back to the front. That's the footwork. And the hand work is really easy because it goes from and punch. It goes separate back here and push the tiger up the mountain. And then to the front, open and close. So those last two movements are nothing. That's why I wanted to rush and get you there.
Okay.
So let's go through those movements. I know that you're not completely comfortable with them, but that's okay. That gives you a place to work and learn. So we have from, I'm going to start here. I'm going to go through all of it on our advanced 6. We're coming from open and close. And brush knee, shift, turn, lay hands, shift, separate, step, shift and throw that pitch, follow step. Play the loop, step back, turn hands, shift as those hands pass, get to that elbow, follow step. Parry punch, step, shift, step, shift, step, and deliver the flowers, follow step. Lock and close, step back, separate, shift, follow step, push the tiger, step, shift, follow step. To the front, step, shift, step, turn hands, open and close. Close it out.
Okay.
So should I tell you now that we do all those movements to the other side too? You want me to wait until August to tell you that?
We'll wait till August to do them.
So whenever we finish doing it this way, then we're going to do it that way. And so it's the same, it's just all opposite. So and I'm going to do it just so you have it on this video.
Okay.
Whenever you came back to the front and did open and close, now you do brush knee, just the opposite. Brush knee, play the lute, parry, parry, and punch, lock and close, push the tiger to the front, open and close. So I'm going to do it both ways. I'm going to put it all together, and then you'll have it. Like I said, you'll have it. You don't ever have to look at this or watch it again, but if you're like, oh, I wish you would have put it all together. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it together from the end of our basic 6. We come and we do open and close. Brush knee. Play the lute. Parry, carry, and punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger to the front, open and close. Brush knee. Play the lute. Carry, carry, and punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger to the front, open and close. Close it out. So putting our basic 6 and our advanced 6 together gives us our complete Tai Chi part 1.
Wow.
So
Great.
we'll just keep learning, keep practicing, pick movements out. I'll do the videos for each of the advanced. And then, like I said, you always get in touch with me if you have a question. Don't think you're ever bothering me. And I will get back with you. And you know, I'll keep you in the loop.
Great.
All
Thank
right,
you.
let's beat ourselves. We're a little past 11, but I did a lot of talking in the beginning, so I don't mind at all to go past the 11 o'clock mark.
Well, I'm happy for that.
I'm not that kind of teacher, you know, like I could sit here and probably do Tai Chi for hours.
Yeah.
I just really enjoy it. So
Yeah.
all right, let's create tension and then let it go. We don't like tension. Be aware of tension you hold because that's where you're going to have pain. So anytime you can recognize it and get rid of it is going to help you get rid of or not have pain.
Mm-hmm.
Big circle, breath, exhale, inhale, come up, and exhale. Let's do one more. I get lost in this movement just for the relaxation nature of it.
Yeah.
And then we have our fist that represents our strength, our upright fingers that represents our friendship, our thumb bent in is our humility. So strength, friendship, and humility, we put those together in mutual respect. We say namaste. All right, Miss Gwen, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope to hear from you. I hope to hear from you before August, but if not, at least I'll see you in August.
You'll hear from me before August.
Okay, good deal.
Thank you so much.
Love you, Miss Gwen.
You too.
All right.
In August.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.